Good morning and Happy New Year. This morning I want to show you a use for your tallow. I'm gonna make some arepas, just two. Normally I make one, but your dad wants one also. Alright, so you got a jar of tallow. You want to open it up with like a can opener, bottle opener, okay? And you should hear a little, with the vacuum releasing. Alright. So I put about a tablespoon per arepa. So these might be closer to a half a tablespoon. And I'm just going to melt the tallow in the pan where I'm going to cook 2 arepas. And arepa is just like it's just like a biscuit that you're cooking in the pan. And it's just a few ingredients: water, salt, flour, and you don't have to use a fat, but it makes it healthier and a softer crumb if you use fat. Alright, so that's about plenty of fat for 2 arepas. Alright, and you'll need some flour. You can grind that with your juicer attachment, and I keep my ground flour in the freezer, just in a quart mason jar. I'm probably, since I'm going to make 2, which I normally don't do, I think I'm going to use 5 big spoonfuls. I think I'm going to take one out. Alright, so this goes back in the freezer. Keep your flour cold. And then probably about 3 or 4 shakes per arepa. You can stir that up. The fat is almost melted, so I'm going to stir it around. Now this fat does turn solid at not a very high temperature, because really when I put it on my cold flour, it will solidify again. So what I normally do is add water to the flour first, works a little better, and then pour the fat on top of the water. Alright, sorry I don't measure, you'll just have to get accustomed to making these, get the feel for it. So I'm going to put in probably maybe a 1/4 cup of water. I don't know, you could always add more. I'm going to pour my fat right on that. I'm going to turn that up to 6, get it a little warmer. Okay, so then you just stir your water and, so see, that's too dry. So it needs a little bit more water, not very much. That was maybe half a tablespoon. Okay, that looks like it's going to work perfect. You can mush it around as long as you want, but you should see everything come away from the sides of the bowl. Sometimes I make big arepas and sometimes I make little arepas. Depends on what happens. Alright, so I'm going to just divide this into 2. And you have to hold it kind of gently, because otherwise you'll just get it squished all stuck on your hands. Okay, kind of roll it into a ball and then flat it. And then I always like to push up on the sides and put it in the pan. I would like my pan to be a little hotter, but I like a little tiny bit of a sizzle when I put it in. Okay. Okay, so you roll this one, flatten it, you're gonna put it in the pan. And you probably, this is like too thick. Okay, that's probably 3/4 of an inch. You want them closer to a 1/2 inch. That might be a fat 1/2 inch, but that's okay. And actually, all right, and then they need a lid and 5 minutes on each side. If I'm making one, I use a little pan unless I'm cooking some vegetables with it or something. I cook it on medium heat. I do 5 or 6 minutes the first side and then 5 minutes the second side. So we'll let that cook and I'll show you what it looks like when it's ready to flip and then when it's finished. Thanks.